Hello, everyone. This is Just Trying to Play It, and we are back with Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. Now, we are playing a challenge that we get $50,000 in the first bazaar, our first real bazaar, but we are also trying to get 1 million in the first season, which is already pretty hard. Now, last time we went through the first day and the cutscenes and all that stuff to get us started, but today we are looking at, we saw what our trends were, and now we're going to start working on those. Now, the thing is to be honest with you, the trends that we have, one of them we're probably not going to do, which is the wool. The round crops, white crops, and small spring fish actually kind of work in our favor because we are going to be doing a lot of farming because we don't have access to really anything. Right now, we only have, let's see, the tools that we have. We only have a hoe and a watering can. So, unfortunately, what that means for us is we will be doing quite a lot of farming to start off with. Now, for me, that's fine because that's really one of the reasons why I play this game is for the farming aspect of it. But there's also other things that we can do, such as mining and things like that, as is with any farming game. To really be honest with you, did I buy any food? Yes, I did. Do I want to eat this food right now? I don't think so. So I am going to see. Did we take a bath last time? No, we did not. So let's do that. The moderate energy that this bath gives us actually is a godsend in the beginning because, as you can see, it gives us about a half. That's fine. Um, we can use that to our advantage. So the calendar, we can see up to 2 years in advance, which is kind of cool, to be honest with you. We don't have really anything coming up until Flower Festival. By that time, we'll have a sickle and all that stuff to be able to do that. I keep messing up on the Flower Festival because I don't do it both days for some reason, and I keep losing, but I'm determined to win it this time, or at least try to. Now, we can't go up there yet. We haven't unlocked anything. Starting games like this on the first season is kind of it reminds you of how much grind it is, for lack of a better word. What I'm doing is looking to make sure that I didn't forage everything because I don't remember if we got everything from up there, and it looks like we did. Like I said before, the only thing we really are going to be doing is farming. Now, do I need to? I think I've already done this section, but let me see. I don't have any other seeds. So I think I keep hitting the escape button. I am so sorry. I'm so used to that being the menu to get out of menus and stuff. But I think right now I don't think that'll matter. So we are going to. I've got a lot of critters here. Now, the reason I am holding on to these guys is for one or two reasons. Number one, because I've played already, I know that we can give those to one of the harvest sprites, and it will increase the quality of the critters that we catch. But on a second note, even though these things are not that expensive and they don't bring much money, they do stack very well. So I may be able to use them to offset maybe a few things because I want to fill my stall regardless of what happens. And as you can see here, if we had been playing in this game for a bit, everything we realize will find itself up there. The only reason why we know that this wool exists is because we were given wool in the beginning by Felix, who is the mayor, a very intense mayor. And we know that same with this turnip, and turnips fall for both. Now we don't get, unfortunately, we don't get the double benefit for it being both a white crop and a round crop, which is not bad. I mean, I'm not gonna try to double dip if we're not allowed to double dip, but I kind of wish we could, but it's not, and I don't blame them um for that, because at that point, you could really make a ton of money from selling even the smallest little thing if that was the case. So what we're going to do is try and check first. Let's see if we opened our mail. We did open our mail, so we got everything there. Let's see if we have enough money to get about 9 more seeds. Let's see how many seeds we can actually get. So I think turnips are going to be the way forward because they take they cost the least, take the least amount of days. We're going to eventually have to do flowers, but I think we'll worry about flowers after the first. Um, yeah, I think we'll worry about flowers maybe after the. Then again, I could turn those into dye or perfume, I think, which will help us get more money. I'm gonna go with this first. We only have 910. I can't get nine of them. I want to leave myself with some money. Or do I? Or maybe I could use the bugs and sell the bugs and make money. I can only get five of these. You know what? Forget it. I've already bought two recipes, so hopefully that'll get me through. Hopefully that'll get me through at least the day or something. If it comes down to it, we can sell the bugs for a few extra dollars and, try to see if we can buy another recipe or something. Or we might be a little more strategic and use the bath probably a little bit better. We can only take, well, in the morning, if I take it early enough, I think we can get away with um, two baths throughout the day. I don't think I've ever taken two baths yet. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, I don't think I have. Okay, so let's kind of glance around here and see what's going on. This is only day 2. So let's see if we can find. At this point, I'm looking for critters. I'm looking for anything that I can do. We can't get any of these wild flowers, nothing. I don't think the critters necessarily come out at night. I think they're all during the daytime. I can't, yeah, I don't see any. So we may have some leftover energy for the night. I'm gonna go check the farm and look for other little forageables also before we retire for the night. But it's so quiet in the first season at night. Um, I think those critters only come out during the day. But you know what? It's fine. We're not gonna complain about any of that. So let's go back to the farm. The time, you can kind of say it goes by fast, but at the same time, there are times when it does and there are times when it don't. So I feel that it just depends on what you're trying to do. Because there are so many times where I have so much to do, I can't get any, I can't, I feel like I run out of time. And then there are other times where I have stuff to do, I do it, and then it's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I think it just depends. So I don't see any more foraging. I don't see anything. We are going to retire for the night and we're going to call it a day. Now, I believe every day, depending upon what you're doing, I want to say it's what, maybe 15, 20 minutes a day, something of that nature. So, like I said, we're gonna let every one of these scenes go through when we first see them. We're gonna play them the way they are. Hello, Sophie. So this is Sophie. Her father's the mayor, as you can see. Um, she helps her dad. They didn't take care of the area, as you can see by the way she's looking at it. So the weeds are going crazy. Have my work cut out for me. She brings me a tool. That's gonna happen for the first week or so, I think. So she's giving me a nice little tool. There's my sickle. One swipe, mow down any weeds. Okay. So we're gonna do that. It can also be used to harvest wheat and rice. This is true. And flour. So I want to mention that too. Now she's gonna give me some more seeds. So I look forward to free seeds in the beginning because we have such limited funds. And considering what we're trying to do, meaning the 50K in the beginning, okay, so requests by people will have the blue little exclamation mark over that, which you get a lot of that through this game. But the beauty of it is the map kind of shows you where they are and stuff like that. I'm going to use the sickle to cut down weeds, deliver them to her. I can also use it for wildflowers and plants, which we mentioned earlier. And yes, you can try selling them at the bazaar. So I have some mail. Let's see what that mail is. He's giving me some more seeds. So right now, I'm going to collect everything that's in my mailbox. And we're going to collect some of these weeds. And then I'm collecting right now. I think the first week of doing this, I think you're collecting basically everything you can get your hands on. I don't think that you really pass up too many items. Um, I may do as many as I can, but it does take energy when you're doing this. So that's something else to. I stepped too close to that thing. That's something else to keep in mind. Now, Sophie wants 20 of them. We've already got 48. As you can see, each one that you cut down is going to be a 3. So that's good to have in mind. Let's go refill. Oh, God, I got too close again. The bugs aren't that important. At least I don't feel like they are. At least not right now until you see the harvest sprites. And we still have a good amount of time before we see them. I do like that you can do 3 of these at a time, but it still is time consuming. So there will come a time later on when you can do more than 3. You can do 3, 6, 9, and you keep improving, um, your skills and stuff. So it helps a lot. Now there's a little creature. You don't have to grab every creature. So please don't think that you do if you have never played this game before, or if you don't, you do not have to grab every creature. Every butterfly, every, you know, um, ladybug, all of that. You don't have to grab all of them. What I like to do is I grab first and I decide to keep them or not later. And yes, I've used my stamina or whatever, but it still makes a difference for me. And then plus, like I said, you're in the beginning of the season, so you don't have that many things to do. I'm gonna put all of these in here except for those because I need to take those to Sophie. Now, before I do that, I am going to grab this butterfly. No, this ladybug. I didn't mention ladybugs. I'm gonna grab this, put it in there. There we go. Now, I am going to take the bath now in hopes that I can take one later on. I don't know how many hours it takes for it to um, respawn or cool down or whatever you want to call it, but we'll make the most out of it. Now, before we go talk to Sophie, we have a nice little patch here that's already prepared for us to plant these bad boys. Now, anything else we plant is just going to be randomly throughout here because we've got four patches that have not been used. And personally, I don't mind having everything in different spots. I don't really too much care if all of my potatoes are in the same place. At least not right now. Uh, the funny thing is, I always try to say that I can't afford to be organized right now, but you really can't. You do it if you do it in the beginning. It actually is a lot better than trying to do it after you've gone 2 or 3 seasons. You've accumulated all this stuff. Now, what I'm gonna do is look for Sophie. She's right there. So she's where I'm actually going. I could have gone that way, which is a shortcut, but I kind of wanted to come and see what was over here anyway. I usually do not stop gathering up weeds and stuff because the weeds is what will create your fertilizer. And weeds are so abundant, it's just not even funny, you know. With all the flowers making up for snap, perfect season. She loved gathering up flowers for bouquets. Now, one thing you'll notice if you have a quest with them or anything, they'll still talk to you regularly, but they will ask you, by the way, how is this quest coming up? I really like that mechanic. And then, as you can see, I have 96 of these things. Now, we could split them and do all that, but you know what? The beauty of this is it won't send them more than what they ask for. I love that. I absolutely love it. I think that's one of the best things added to a game because sitting there trying to split stacks and do all that is ridiculous. Now some it makes sense, but at the same time, with this one, you don't have to. So I like that. I like the fact that we don't have to do that. Now over here, I think we've seen this already, but just in case we haven't, to rank up, I need to make 1,000 at the bazaar. Now we should do that easily, even with um, the even if we just sell all bugs, we should hit 1,000. It'll take a little more, but we should hit that. Like I said, I am trying to have it where we're. Oops. Wait, what happened? What happened? There we go. I think I clicked in the wrong spot. I am so sorry about that. But I'm trying to have it where I do the 50,000. So whatever it is that I need to sell to get that 50 is what I'm going to sell. I'm going to walk around here and see if there are any bugs or anything. Is there anything behind? No. Nope. Nothing over there. Let's walk over here. Sometimes there's a little ladybug over there. We're going to take her. There we go. As you can see, picking up these creatures is a slow process, but it can be worth it depending upon what you're trying to do. Now, as you can see, you can always go to the bazaar. You don't have to just go to the bazaar on Saturday, but nothing's going on here. There are some people who hang out over here. They're always over here. So, you can go talk to them. This little dude. Snacks he wants to eat. That is really cute. That is really cute. I love the kids that they've designed on here. They're just too cute. They're so adorable. They get into stuff which kids are supposed to. There's some who don't, some who do. But the kids usually like exploring. They see new things. They want to know what it's all about. And sometimes, unfortunately, it gets them in trouble. I could say the same for grown-ups too. Sometimes we see new things and we want to find out what it's all about, and we get in trouble. See a new person, see a new toy, such as a new car, new something, new gadget. We want to find out what he or she is all about, and we get in trouble. Anyway, um, the one thing about this game, though, is you can continuously play. I think I may have mentioned that before. Um, there'll be a lot of things I repeat because I do like this game. I think this is one of the better um, story of seasons, Harvest Moon, whatever you want to call it, that has been invented. There are a lot of them. I remember playing Harvest Moon long, 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 long time ago. I believe I played it on the PlayStation when I first played it because it was the only console that I think I could find it on. I don't think any other console had it. So I remember buying myself a PlayStation 1, a little bitty one, and getting a little small um, television just for me to play it and having a good time. I mean, there was times when I had to sit on the floor and play. I didn't have a desk or things like that, but you know, I found myself still enjoying the game. I wasn't as comfortable as you can be sitting on the floor. For me, sitting on the floor is no longer comfortable once you get to a certain age, I guess. But I did it just to play that game because that game was probably the best thing. It was one of the best farm games I think I had seen in a long time. And they still are. Some of them are better than others, so I keep that in mind. Some of these farm games are going to be better than others. But then again, there's going to be some that come out that, usually all of them are pretty playable. But like I said, some are designed so much better than others. You tend to still play maybe the ones that, weren't that good, but um, the rest of them still, you go towards the ones that played the best, and you play those more than you play the other ones. I play some of the old ones for nostalgia, really. So I don't look at it that way. I would love to play, I look back on the older Harvest Moons and look at the graphics and stuff like that. And, a lot of people today can't believe that those graphics ever look like that. Oh my God. But you got to understand, you don't start off with the graphics that we have right now. It starts somewhere else. So you start with what is now considered mediocre graphics, but during the time that they were created, they weren't. Okay, I am going to eat one of these because I don't think the onion salad gives me a lot of energy anyway, a lot of stamina rather. But now I know it. So if I wanted to, what I could do is I could sell the any onions that I get. I can make those into onion salad, which I don't know why anyone would want an onion salad. It sounds absolutely gross to me, but I mean, to each his own about their onions, about their vegetables and stuff. I don't. But anyway, I could sell it and end up with probably a really good amount of money from those. So we can always go in and see anything that we can make. We can go in and see. Um, yeah, that's just telling you, how you raise the quality of it and all that. So these are all the things that we can make. I always leave this on all because it's just the thing to do. As you can see, if you make it takes one turnip to make a turnip salad. That's 260. It takes two herbs to make an herb salad, 137. The onion salad, one simple onion to make that. And the list goes on and on like this. Okay. Now with this, there's only certain fish that I would need. What you can do is you can look at the list of the fish, and 9 times out of 10, these are smaller fish. I don't think they would take, because if not, it would have showed you a long list of fish. It makes no sense to do certain fish this way because you're still only going to get, this is your base sales price. Bread is a good thing to make from the wheat. Cooked rice is wonderful. It goes into so many other recipes that are absolutely useful. Your walnuts that I just picked up. But you can also see, and we'll show you an example of this. Okay, so if I were to take, let's take these guys, and let's take these. Okay, if I look at these, the base price of mint, which is an herb, is considered, I think, obviously an herb, is 50 each. Base price of the walnut is 100 each. So if we were to come over here, and let's say we didn't do anything else with the herbs, we get another 37 on top of it because you use one here, you're using two of them, right? So instead of 100 for both of them, if we were to sell them raw, we would get 137. That's 37% more. That's not bad if you look at 37% or if you look at 37 more. That's not bad right now at all. Herb soup, same thing. Okay, that's not bad. Walnut juice, however, you're gonna do 260. Now you process the walnut juice. These are only 100, so you're getting 160 more than the freaking walnut. You know, that's the type of thing that I want to do. Okay, that's the type of thing that I think I need to do um, in order to try and get to my goal. Now, am I? Probably not. Am I gonna make the 50K? I don't think so. I don't have enough. I mean, right now I can say no, but it depends. If I sell everything that I have, things like that, I might. But should I sell everything? Don't know. Don't know. Right now, this whole stuff here is not looking good. This is 40 each times 13. It's only 520. Once the windmills are done, I can process this. I may have to sell these metals because I think you do get pretty pretty good amount of these regular metals. These silver ones and stuff I won't sell, but look, they're 500 bucks. If I can find enough of them, I can sell those. I mean, you can sell the rocks and things that I might get that I can easily get. I might. Now, unfortunately, I don't have anything else to do. So we're going to go to bed. We're going to do at least one more day and maybe longer. I don't know. So let's see what the next day will bring us. I forgot what's what. Okay, someone's knocking at my door. Let's see who it. I look adorable. This is Lloyd. Now, I'm going to say this. I know probably a lot of people didn't think of Lloyd as, I mean, he is one of the love interests, which there's quite a few of them on here. I think Lloyd is he has that different kind of look for me. I love the hair thing that just floats out like that. I think that's pretty cool. And to me, he's kind of wearing a cape. Now, he's a traveling merchant. He's chosen to stay here for a bit. He goes back and forth. He wants me to help him with a supply of ore. So he's going to help me with a pickaxe. Well, it's not like your normal pickaxe, everybody. This particular thing that he's given me is a pickaxe and a hatchet, an axe. It's a wonderful thing. Yeah. So as you can see, it breaks down rocks and wood. It can also split into can also be larger mineral stones can also be split into ore and finer gems. Okay. I can uproot my trees, things like that. It's a wonderful thing. He wants me to get him something because anytime I hate to say it, most times when people give you stuff like this, they want something, right? So he wants 2 iron, and you can see what they want here. This is iron, this is rock. He wants 2 of those, 20 of those, which tells you that they're kind of easy to probably get. But then again, you never know. So now we have something else to spend our energy on, is basically what that is. So I can find some mineral stones around the yellow windmill, which I did find them. I just couldn't break them up. All right, once I'm done, I'm going to find him so he can give me my reward. So I can use to collect rocks, deliver them to Lloyd. That's basically what we were going to do anyway. We have some more mail. Let's see what it is. Remember to water. We know, Felix. But I mean, if you didn't remember by now, it's a little bit too late because your stuff is basically messed up by now. Come here. Got him. Okay, let's grab this. Let's see if we can do a little round of foraging first. Let's see what's around here. Nothing there, nothing there. Usually one at the trees. Port and scene. Let's see what that might be. It looks like it's something going on there. So, sometimes those cutscenes come up at the wrong time, but they are kind of important at times. So we're gonna do a little bit of this, and they do have some of them have a time limit. You don't know what that time limit is, but some of them have a time limit. So I think what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna put this stuff away. Let's go take a quick glance at the crops. They're gonna need watering. Nothing is gonna be ready to harvest just yet because it's too early. We're gonna get those. I can do without the creature. Let's go see what's going on at the. Yes, we have 4 seasons, so let's remember that, everyone. The wind does change. Right now, the wind is pretty decent to do almost anything. 2-star wind is pretty good. Anything behind here? No. I love the way they cut through the building so you can see what you're doing. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, let's see what's going on here. I'm minding my own business, as you can see. Things at the farm are pretty decent. Can't really complain anything about it. Can't wait to see how my little farm grows. Notice how she says little farm. And we're talking and talking, and then, you know, along comes this guy. Wilbur. He's inspecting everything. What I like about the game is they do compliment other people. They do make sure that people feel welcome. Um, I think that's how a community is supposed to be. Oh, here comes the little babies. They're so cute. They're gonna go pick some flowers. Flower crowns are so cute. I bet you the little that's why you don't see the little boy with them because he is not a flower picking kind of dude. But he probably would go anyway because 9 times out of 10 he'll find some bugs. I think it's really cute that they have, um, these little kids have their own little personalities and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice. Now I may be clicking through this too quick, and I do apologize. Um, but sometimes all of this talking drives me nuts. Um, I just want to get to it, and also you'll notice these cutscenes do take time. They don't stop the time. So I mean, I think that would be the only thing that kind of I would love to see changed in not only this game but in some games. If I'm stopping to talk to someone now, let's just put it in perspective. If you do that in real life, time still passes. It does not stop. But because our time is so limited in the game, I wish it would stop. Okay? And that's why I say that. I would love for the time to stop in the game because we don't have all this time, and now I'm talking to someone and I'm losing another, hour, 2 hours because they want to chit chat and I'm just minding my own business, you know. But at the same time, it's good to do that. You have to stop and, just uh, be friendly, stop and acknowledge people and let them know that, yeah, I'm busy, but I'm not too busy at times to, talk to you and to, make you feel at home or welcome. I wouldn't, at work, I've got someone who stops in my office a lot when they're there. And at times, yes, I don't, really have the time to talk to them. But the question is, do I have the time to talk to them? I think I do. There's a gold medal. Those are worth some money. Do I have the time to talk to them? I mean, it's not like they're going to take up 10, 20 minutes of my time. So I do, sometimes stop what I'm doing or pause it, and I take the time to talk to him or her, and I feel like some people need to do that, but at the same time, I'll let them know, hey, I really can't talk right now. Can we talk tomorrow? Or, can you wait for me for about 20 minutes, come back in about 20 minutes, and, we can chit chat, something like that. But there's some people that chit chat makes a difference in their lives. And I'm not trying to, be that straw that broke the camel's back. Some people need, it's their way of reaching out. It's their way of letting you know that, they kind of need some help or whatever. And I understand that. I do understand that. I love this feature too. If you look at this thing, oh my God, I love that. I don't have to stop and talk to them. I'll get a few points or whatever, but I don't have to necessarily stop and talk to them. That feature is great. And then I can speak to multiple people, at one time if they're all in the group. It's freaking awesome. It is absolutely awesome. As you can see, the time. I don't know what time it was when I started talking to these people. Well, when these people started talking to me, let's just put it in perspective. Because once again, I was minding my own business, you know, and trying to stay out of everybody else's. And this little dude, he's just too cute. I just love the little dude. I love all of the kids in here. It's not that many children, which I'm kind of disappointed with, but I get it. It is an extremely small. Oh, I'm full. Oh my goodness. It is an extremely small town, so I don't really expect there to be 20, 30 kids running around here. There's not that many residents, so I get it. I should have done that one first. Do that one. And yes, I am playing this with mouse and keyboard. Um, I love my mouse and keyboard now. It was funny because the very first game that I played was Harvest Moon, and I had to get used to using mouse and keyboard, which I had normally never done before. I usually played console. So console obviously is joystick. And I was so used to playing any game with a joystick. I didn't care what kind of game it was. It was a joystick game. And well, now here we are playing with mouse and keyboard, and I don't, it feels like I've been playing with it all my life. But uh, let's water as much as we can. Watering can and ran out. Luckily, we have a wonderful little contraption over here. I'm gonna call it a well, but it's not your. Oh my God, why do I keep doing that? I am so sorry. I keep for some reason my cursor is on. I have two monitors right now. For some reason my cursor is constantly over in the other monitor, which I don't understand why. And it's turning it off, so you may have seen a couple black screens. It's not the game, it's me. So I'm not gonna blame the game for that. It is totally me. Um, don't know why it's constantly doing that. I mean, maybe I'm venturing off too much. See, this is a ore, which this could pay some money. This is 1,500. It's like you don't know what should I do with all this stuff. Do I sell it? Do I keep it? All of this together is not 50K by any stretch of the imagination, but it gets me closer to it. 10 bucks, 10 cents, or 10 gold, whatever it is for this. It's absolutely crazy. I'm gonna say dollars. I'm gonna say these are dollars because it just makes me feel better if they're dollars. To be honest with you, even though it's G for gold or whatever, I'm gonna say one gold, one G is a dollar or something. So this right here is 2K. This is 480. That's 500. That's another 300. It's going to add up, but I don't want to sell out. The stuff that I'm supposed to be able to, any of my trends, I haven't even gotten to yet. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't. I can get, these are coming, but this right here, I can't even get to it. And then to be honest with you, when they do start, um, when the turnips come in, I'm gonna make turnip salad. I'm not even gonna, I'm gonna see how much the turnip is on a, by it trending now, and how much that'll get me. But I'm probably not even going to, sell the actual turnip. That's why, in a way, the trends they matter, but they don't matter. Um, but I got lucky, like I said, with the trend that I had because if I have to, and let's say I get to the point where I don't process all of my produce or whatever, like all of my turnips aren't processed and things like that, I could easily go ahead and um, make stuff out of it and just sell it, and it'll be a lot better. But right this particular time, honestly, I would have taken probably any trend that they gave me because the whole idea in the spring for me is to maximize my profits right now. I am establishing myself in this place. But I put the stipulation of the 50,000 in the um, first bazaar on myself. So I didn't. No one else did that. It's not part of the game. And like I said, you will easily get the 1,000 G that they require of you. Because I mean, how can you not? To be honest with you, there's no way that you can't get it unless you just didn't do anything. I mean, you can sell all of these, like your weeds. That's 99. That's 990. You can sell that and you've got your 1,000 and you can call it a day. But will you do that? I don't know. Or you can turn it into fertilizer when you can open up the windmills and then you can sell those. So, now we're going to do, I think this pasta gives me a really good amount of, yeah, that gives me a really good amount of stamina. Now, what I want to see is how do we make pasta? Do we need just flour or what do we need? No, we need eggs. So, therefore, we're going to need a chicken for eggs because I don't think you can just. The one thing in this game is you just can't buy those ingredients unless you go. I think the bazaar. There's certain people who sell certain things, but you just can't buy certain things, which I like also because you can always try to cheat the system if you could just go buy everything. I was hoping for that when I was playing one of my other playthroughs, and I needed to have, I think it was maybe level 3 fish, and it took me forever to get it because I am not a fan of a lot of these fishing mini games. I hate them. I think that they make them all so difficult on purpose, and the purpose is to annoy me and give me stress. So I don't do a lot of them, and if I do them, I put them off. I don't do them right away. I take my time, and 9 times out of 10, it is the last thing that I have um, upgraded or anything. So I don't care. Um, Normally, the fish does not. Um, how can I put it? It makes money, but doesn't make as much. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of people do not ask for the fish that much, so I do not bother with it. I think he is closed. Yeah, he's not even there. Where is he? He may have gone. Yeah, he's gone off on his little journey. So I will see him probably tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and I will give him this stuff. Now let's just put it in perspective. How much am I giving? I'm giving them 2 of these, which is 300, and I'm giving them 20 of these, which is another 400. I'm giving them $700 worth of stuff, 700 gold worth of stuff, and he's probably gonna give me something. Hopefully that's at least close, but it's 700 gold worth of stuff. Which I don't mind, but it gives me favor with him and everything. But as I was saying before, he is probably not your typical love candidate that a lot of people would like to have. But for me, he's got the same. We share a lot in common. We share a lot in common with a lot of the villagers, which is what I like. But we share a lot in common with him because we basically are a merchant. Also, we're just not a traveling merchant. And we just got here. We answered an ad. We lived somewhere else. We answered an ad, and we moved here to hopefully help the, community. And he moves around as a merchant, mostly because that's what he does. Here we go, Felix. No, wait, he said. Well, he says it in a lot deeper voice than mine, but he said it. Good morning, Felix. Coming along great. What you got going on? He has a present for me. There. Let's go see what you're talking about, Fee. Now he said there a bit as if there's more than one thing that he has, but he has one chicken. These chickens, the Harvest Moon animals, have to be some of the cutest animals that I think I've ever seen in a game. I absolutely love the way they've designed these things. They're just the cutest they can be. Hey, Chicky. I'm gonna say no because this is the first time that I'm putting this on the channel. But I kind of wanted to go a little faster than this. Okay, my first lesson. Take out the feed that he gave me. So I'm gonna do Q, and bam, got the feed. Place it over the feeding trays on the left, and it's ready for your chicken. Put it over there, bam. There we go. I did. Chicken is eating. The chicken has eaten. Animals eat one portion of food per day, can hold the feed and give it to them directly. I don't think that gives you any extra with them. At least they don't say that it does. But there are some games where that does give a little bit of extra affection towards you. Once your animals are fed, I'll receive a byproduct from them the next day. Uh, this chicken is fully grown. So that's why I'll get the byproduct from next day. Um, yeah, I can hand feed them, forging strong bonds. Yeah, they help me. The bell I use can also corral the animals and stuff. So that's good to know. So let's do this. Bam. And here comes the baby towards me. There we go. He likes that. Um, Hurting them this way deepens my relationship with them. And I have a whole barn. The bell will call all of them. So I've got to pet him. So let's go pet this little dude. There we go. We pet him. And I can hold chickens. I picked this little self up. Petting and holding your animals improves the relationships, gives me higher quality byproducts, which is great. Now we're going to let him out to graze. Now, right now, I have to carry his little behind out. When animals are let out to graze, they eat the grass, won't need to be fed. So it helps them relax and everything. So brush, milker, and clippers, which is good. It's good. Now I've used the brush, I think, on the chickens. Everything else is not used for the chicken, obviously. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. We'll see you, Felix. Plenty of stock. You are right. Mother Nature does have a bunch of stuff to sell. I get it. Thank you, Felix. See you later. Yeah, sometimes people just stay a little bit too long. I have always called my first chicken nugget. I think it's funny. I think it's cute. It just works. So I got a brush, a milker, and some clippers. So talk to my neighbors every day. That what was funny to me when I saw that was I didn't talk to my neighbors for I don't know how long it was. I don't think it was that long. But it had been a while because I was working on some things at the farm. I was trying to get ready for the bazaar. Um, I was just busy. Okay, I was busy. And I started talking to someone. I think we were at an event or something like that. And one of the things I had was to give people presents or something, whatever it was. But anyway, I started, giving people presents. Oh, I'm surprised that you're, giving me this after we haven't talked in so long. I'm like, what? I'm like, really? This is what we're saying? You know? And then I started thinking about it. It's like, you know what? I haven't really dealt with them that long. It's kind of like you're taking, oh, shoot. It's kind of like you took them for granted. And I like that they've put that in here. I really do. But I just feel like it's just I didn't do that. I'm just me. I'm trying to work this farm. You guys have put all this, I hate to say it, pressure on me. So I'm trying to do what you're asking me to do. I sometimes don't have time to be talking to you people. But you know what? It does make a point where you shouldn't be too busy to, make time for the people that are important to you. And that's what I say to people all the time. Yes, I'm busy. Yes, I'm doing stuff and all that, but I'm supposed to make time for the people who are important to me. Now, if I don't make time for you, that might be a way of me telling you that you're not that important to me. And I hate to say it, but I think that that's universal. Um, if people can't make time for you, you're not that important to them. You're not as important to them as they are to you. So you may have to think about that. and reevaluate who you hang around with, who you make time for, who you don't make time for. And I'm not saying for you to go on a little spree and start removing people from your Facebook friends list and all that other stuff. But there are times when people are important, but you know that they just don't have time, but they should. You know what I'm saying? And I do regret not keeping in touch with certain people over the course of my life and, doing certain things. But, I hate to say it, but what's done is done right now, and I can't go back. I can't go back and make up that time. What I can do is going forward, I can try to be better at it. And I encourage everyone to kind of think about that, when they're interacting with people. And that's how you forge relationships. That's how those relationships cultivate and get better. You know, I kind of can't wait to make some of that. The most expensive thing I can make right now is onion, but I can't get an onion yet. The good thing about the bazaar, also, for those of you who don't know, is the bazaar is also where you probably get most, if not a lot of your new items. Like, you get new crops and stuff, well, not new crops, new seeds from Miguel. You get new seeds from, other people. You get new, as you start helping them make their own stalls, you start getting so many things from them. It's absolutely wonderful, the way that that mechanic works, the way that that whole thing works is absolutely, positively beautiful. And I love it. I think it's one of the best ways to do stuff. Now, granted, you've got to wait until Saturday, but still, still, it is very, um, it's useful. It's useful, but you got to stock up and stuff. And what I used to do was, um, we'll talk about that in a minute. This is Gabriel. What you mean in this neck of the woods? You're right by town square, dude. So he's doing a sketch of the town. Mayor loves what he does. You know. Oh, where are you? Look at the animals. They're so cute. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. The scenery is great. The scenery is pretty good. That's a good way to look at it. That is a good way to look at things. You the one started talking to me, dude. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm minding my own business. I'm good at that. I'm good at minding my own business. If there was a PhD in minding your own business, I would definitely have it. Definitely have it. But anyway, what I was saying was, you know, the game sometimes, this one is forgiving when you don't talk to people. It's a little more forgiving than others. But there are some games that, the relationship goes down and stuff like that. What I also noticed with Miguel is his stock is limited, but as you expose yourself to different things, Miguel will have those things available for you. So I did notice at the bazaar that after I bought something from the bazaar, a seed or something like that, Miguel, I was able to then get it from Miguel. It's the same price, is not less or more than anything else, but it helped a lot because I got tired of thinking. Oh, excuse me. Hold on, let me get some drink. Oh, yeah, that was good. Well, what I noticed was I was tired of having to wait until the bazaar to get something new. And then the thing is, though, with Miguel, you can at certain point. And I'm probably telling too much because I played it. And that's sometimes why I don't like playing games that I've already played a little bit of. But at the same time, I don't want to play something that I've never played and then realize that I don't like it, and then it comes on the channel and then it disappears all of a sudden. So I'm trying to be better with that. Not there are no promises. There really aren't. There are no promises. That reminds me, I've got to find this dude. He is on his way back. It looks like I am going to catch him on the road. Now, Lloyd, like I said, was probably not your typical love interest that someone may have chosen. However, I found him to be a little intriguing. And like I said, he reminded me of me. I don't even have what I need for this dude. You know what? I know he's going home. So I'm going to run home real quick. And I'm going to put stuff away and I'm going to get what he needs. But anyway, he's not your typical love interest. But at the same time, who really is? You know what I'm saying? Do you always go for the guy that's, the muscular, good looking dude? Not all the time. But you could. I mean, obviously, certain guys will appeal to you, certain women will appeal to you. And I don't care if you're looking at both, I don't care if you're looking at one or the other. But certain ones will appeal to you, certain ones won't. Everybody has their preference. And for that, I'm not going to be upset with anyone. But Lloyd came across when I first started playing this game. Lloyd was probably the one that I had my eye on more than others. Now, granted, there were about two or three more that came along that I started saying, "Oh my," you know. And I say that because it happens. You're not gonna just be, you know, um, can I say attracted because it's a game? I mean, it makes me feel so weird, kind of saying it, but that is the case. You're not gonna always be attracted to just one person. The thing is you spend time with all of them to see which one really sparks with you, to see which one really wants you to, um, which one really does it for you. Is what I'm saying. At a certain point, you come across multiple men, multiple women that may be a candidate, and you spend time with each one of them, there's a certain spark with one that probably should, it makes you say, okay, this is the one that I'm going to pursue. This is the one that I think I could, have a good life with or a chance with, or that I just want to spend more time with than the others. It happens. Now, am I saying that you sit up here and try to date 60 different people? No, no, I'm not saying that. Not saying that. But what I am saying is sometimes when you do limit yourself to dating one person at a time, you kind of do, you know, um, fall into that thing where now you're bored with them because they're not this or they're not that. Well, you knew that. You should have known that. Lloyd comes across as that person to me. I like what he's wearing. It's a kind of a kilt thing, I guess. I like that. It's a little different. The hat and everything goes great together. And I like the fact that he's a merchant and he goes around town finding exotic things to sell and stuff like that. And he has had no reason to settle down, and that's the key. He hasn't had a reason to settle down in any town or whatever. So, if I decide to pursue Lloyd, I've got to give him a reason to stay here. I've got to give him a reason to feel like I am, worth him being here, permanently. That it's worth it for him to be here with me permanently. Now, at the same time, the other candidates, um, if you take a look at the different candidates, there's people I haven't met yet because my butt has not gone around and said hello to anyone, which I will do it. I will, but I haven't. But Lloyd right now is at a full heart. Why? Because he's had a quest for me. Gabriel's not at the heart because he hasn't had a quest for me. We talked and everything, but and to me he's a little childish to me. You know, and I hate to say it, they don't tell you how old these guys are, but he's a little childish. I'm not. Sophie is great. I'm not looking at Sophie because I'm not looking at women. That is just that simple. It's just me. I am not gonna sit up here and argue with anybody about their preferences and nothing like that. It's just me. I'm not looking at women. So anyhow, I feel like he would be a decent enough candidate to go after. Now, okay, I said I was giving him over $700 worth of stuff. He gave me something back that was 600. That's fine. Okay, I'm good with that. But it also, what I can't put a price on is the fact that it gives me so much more with him. It gives me more um, affection towards him, right? He gets more affection towards me. I do stuff, it's just one of them things. Now, as you can see, all of this is full. This stuff all together, I can honestly tell you this is not 50K. We are on Wednesday. We still have Thursday, Friday to get ready for the bazaar. Will we make it? I don't know, everyone. I really don't know. But what I do know is we're going to save it here. We're going to um, wait until the next episode to see where we end up. Right now, I'm still leaning towards we're not going to make it. We don't have now. We can make anything we want to make once we can get those windmills started. Now, one windmill will be started in this week of gameplay. That's just how the game is laid out. So we will see what we can make in that windmill very quickly. But I believe it will be on Thursday when it opens up. So we really only have, I would say, Friday and first thing Saturday morning to grab everything we can and go take it. So we're going to have to figure out what is it that we can make quick or what is it that we can make a ton of or a combination of those two. And we have to have it at least no later than Friday morning. So everybody, I'm going to say that this is where we're going to end this. As you can see, I've got this one going. I've got this one going. Um, one of these was my test one, which this one is because this one doesn't start until the second. So I'm holding on to that one just in case anything went wrong. This one here is the one that we're playing on. So yes, I'm at number 9. I'm at number 10 and 11. Do not say anything about it because yes, I've got other playthroughs going through. I did a lot of experimenting on some of the other ones. Did not get far, trust me. So we're gonna save this one right here, and we're gonna end it like that. Everybody, I want to thank you once again for joining me in Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, and I hope to see you the next time. Please hit that like button, subscribe, ask me questions if you need to, leave a comment about whatever. What are your favorite types of games? Do you like these types of games? Do you like other types of games? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.